someone is clamoring for the strength, the power, the joy, the miraculous nature of Donald Trump and all of his macho self. And it's no less than Lindsey Graham, which I will move over here for a second, and then I'll move back over here, and then I will expand out and make it a little bigger, and then the thing, and then I'll take this thing and I'll go even further because you guys deserve it, and then I'll move this thing around, and then this is terrible, and there we go. All right, now this is, oh boy. Lindsey Graham, I miss Donald Trump. We need a strong president. Now, I'm sure this has to do, and is that Grinnell on the left there? It is. And it's time for some. I'm glad we got 3 alpha males here to tell us all how to butch. And it's exciting. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys can handle the alpha energy coming off this page right now. But let's see. I'm gonna take off the closed caption because we will just all hear what they're here to say. Oh God. Here we go. He looks very excited to be there. Very excited to be on Newsmax instead of Fox, where the real audience is.
Senator, I'd like to talk about a couple issues happening here in the United States. You've said in the past that the next Republican leader in the Senate has got to be somebody that can work with Donald Trump and his team, whatever happens in 2024. Is that person?
Yes, they need to be able to work with Donald Trump in 2024, whether he's president or not, because even if he is an absolute loser and he keeps losing and he's going to be losing and he's a loser like he's always been a loser, even when he wins, he loses. It's amazing. It's kind of incredible. We're all very impressed down here, I can tell you. Even then, they have to be able to kiss his ass, even though he gave them nothing. And if by some twist of horrifying fate, DeSantis runs and is the nominee and wins, he will have done it literally stiff-arming Trump at every turn with Youngkin as his VP. The two, no, we're not never-Trumpers that have, if they end up running everything, they'll have done it against Trump trying to hamstring them at every turn, but they've still got to kiss his ass. This makes so much sense.
You.
No. No, I like my job. I could play more golf in this job than I could in the other job. No, I'm not.
Oh, good way to tell your constituents that you can fuck around while you're doing this job. All right.
I'm not looking to be the Republican leader. I like the job I have. The bottom line is
I like the job I have. Ugh. Which, of course, is Trump taint suckerfish.
It's common sense. The most consequential.
I meant to say fish. I said fish after I said fitch, which is weird.
Republican in the nation is Donald Trump. Republicans like what he did as president. They would like.
No, they didn't. They put up with it, and if they say otherwise, they get kicked to the curb. So, no, absolutely not. They don't, and it's very sad.
To see him run again, count me in that camp. And if you can't work with the leader of the party on a common American first agenda, you won't be successful in the House or the Senate as a leader. McConnell and Trump did some great things working together during President Trump's presidency.
Such as?
Can that be created? I hope so. But I'm telling you right now, if you're going to run to be leader of the Republican Senate in 2022, you got to have a working relationship with the most powerful Republican in the country, and that is Donald Trump.
Senator, we're about 9 days from the...
Yeah, but that's not saying much. I mean, you literally are talking about a party that has no interest in governing. I mean, power being, power for power's sake, don't get me wrong. It's a tale as old as time. But, we're into world's shortest giant territory.
Opening ceremonies of the Beijing Olympics. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has called them the genocide games, or the Wuhan Olympics. I want to play you a soundbite from Bob Costas about us going over to Beijing and celebrating with the Chinese. Take a listen.
No one could have anticipated COVID, no matter what the venue is, but the IOC deserves all of the disdain and disgust that comes their way for going back to China yet again. They were in Beijing in 2008. They go to Sochi in 2014. They're shameless about this stuff. And so this takes place not only amid COVID games of a year ago, but as you mentioned, the the restrictions on press freedom and the sense that everyone there is being monitored in some way.
Senator, what's your take?
Yeah. And by the way, for the record, Newsmax thinks that show is fake news and everything that's said on there is completely suspect. And the fact that it was on that channel, even though don't get me wrong, they're using a direct quote from it to springboard a news story of their own, but they also remember the mainstream media, especially CNN, is full of shit. Just remember that.
On this, should we really send our delegation of athletes to China and give the Chinese this great win for their economy, and it also gives them a bunch of prestige on the world stage?
I can't believe that an international organization dedicated to fair play would pick China to play. What's fair about China? Do you want to live there? I don't want to live there. The Uyghurs are being put in concentration camps. There's no freedom of press. They've destroyed the agreement they had with Hong Kong. So what you do is you're legitimizing the Chinese Communist government when they...
Hey, look, overlap. It happens. Yeah, we agree. Where the fuck was this agreement when it was initially assigned? Oh, right. That was during the time when Trump was trying to get his trade deal done with them. So you were playing footsie with them and you didn't give a rat's ass. You bought hook, line, and sinker that Trump was the greatest ruler in the world, and yet he's the guy telling you there's 14 cases, it's going to go away soon because we've got a trade deal that we're working out with China. It's the ink is almost dry. As soon as the ink was dry, they were like, yeah, we're only taking a third of a third.
Do not deserve it. In 1936, when we allowed Hitler to host the Olympic Games, it gave him some legitimacy he did not deserve and made World War II more likely. So it's a huge mistake to pick this communist dictatorship to host the world.
Yeah, except the timing is different on this one, isn't it? Because all this is doing is putting a giant spotlight on how China runs, how China conducts itself, how China treats people, which is actually terrible for them right now. It's yet another situation where you can lose while winning. So no wonder Trump was involved.
To play Olympic Games supposedly fairly. So I just think
supposedly
we live in the 1930s, guys. I have never seen such weakness in the face of tyranny. The Iranians are about to break out to get a bomb. This is a nightmare for our friends in Israel. If the Iranian ever had a nuclear weapon, he would share it with terrorists, and they would kill as many of us as they could. I miss Donald Trump. We need a strong president.
Senator, we have only about a minute left. I want to ask you, because you're a leader.
Yeah, if only Trump was here to be mad at the Chinese and demand whatever while ignoring the Middle East entirely. Also, hey, who here thinks that Trump has any idea that the Saudis are fomenting a rebellion in the western part of Iran, and the Iranians are fomenting a rebellion in the eastern part of Saudi Arabia? Anybody? You think he knows that? Do you think Lindsey Graham gives a rat shit? No. Why is that, you say? Why would they be doing that? Well, let's see. Backwards to you guys. Iranian oil field filled with Saudi loyalists. Saudi oil field filled with Iranian loyalists. That's why. Good luck. Have fun, guys. Yeah, they're going to be kicking our ass. That's what they're looking for. They're picking a fight with us. That's what they want. Jesus Christ.
Crises around the world because of this weakness. We've just seen this week now the Houthi rebels taking missile actions against the UAE. I can't believe we're even talking about.
What are you talking about? They fired on him while Trump was there. That's why he moved troops from Syria when everybody's like, yeah, I'm bringing the troops home from Syria. He didn't bring them home. He sent them to guard fuel refineries in Saudi Arabia. Also, hey, anybody know how that missile strike went? Anybody? Anybody know what happened? Yeah, our interceptors knocked the missiles out of the air. The U.S. military used its interceptor program to destroy those incoming rockets. Does anybody know? That's just not going to be in the news. These three assholes are just going to pretend that shit didn't happen. Grinnell was sitting there when the Houthis in Yemen struck the UAE. He was in the decision-making process to send our troops to the UAE to be human shields.
Abu Dhabi getting bombed, and what's the reaction from the Senate? This is literally a spiraling crisis.
No, it isn't.
Of weakness.
Well, if we were in charge of the Senate as Republicans, we could do more and would do more.
You haven't even offered anything to the floor. What would you do? Why do you have to be in charge to put a sanction forward or to make a speech on the floor requesting a retaliatory strike or some shit like that? Anything? No? You're just going to pretend? All right.
So the bottom line here is the weapons that the Houthis are using against the UAE and Saudi Arabia come from Iran. Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism. They've not gotten better. They've gotten worse. And Biden is hell-bent on getting back into a bad agreement that would be a nightmare for Israel. Putin's walking over Biden like he's a doormat. The Chinese are threatening Taiwan.
Oh, yeah? Is that what's happening? I mean, I understand. He's just basically flipping through a flip book of right-wing bumper stickers. Bullshit across the board.
Literally every day, our border is broken. It's just
literally they aren't every day.
A matter of time before somebody in Afghanistan works.
That's the footage of the drone strike or whatever that was blown out of the air
through the southern border to kill a bunch of us. This is the most dangerous time since the 1930s, and it goes back to Afghanistan.
Yeah, we just found out that there were 14 people on terror watch lists that crossed the southern border illegally in 2021, and the left tried to minimize that, saying,
"Oh, you mean that they caught people who are on the terror watch list because they watch them as they cross other countries, and if they try to make a crossing of the border, they specifically go after them? Like we're fucking supposed to?" So am I to believe that no one on the terror watch list crossed any time during the Trump administration? And I'm supposed to believe that because none were caught. Right.
Well, it's only 14. Well, guess what? On 9/11, there were 13 hijackers. And those are only the terrorists that we know about. So it's an unbelievable number. Senator Lindsey.
Yes, it's an unbelievable number. It has to be much, much bigger.
Graham will leave it.
It couldn't be that number is inflated. Oh, the audio's delayed? That might be some sites. I apologize.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, that was... Can I just come on and drop a bunch of standardized talking points that are all over the mainstream media and act like it's some sort of news, meanwhile clamoring for to put Trump back in office?